Hello. Morning, good afternoon, everyone.
So I don't know if you saw the email from Shim, but it looks like she's going to be traveling while we do this. So she wants some help with hosting. I don't know if you want to host and I'll take the notes or how you want to drive.
Yeah,
But I'm happy to help. If you can just send me, I don't know that I have the link to the Etherpad. I'm
okay.
trying to find that. If you could send it to me, that'd be great.
No worries. Sounds good.
Hey, good morning, Sunny.
Good morning, Shin.
Yeah, let's wait a few minutes. Yeah. So, Sunny, do you know today's agenda? Should we continue work on the priorities?
Yeah, I think that would be great. We do have a rough draft ready based on the board meeting
Right,
last time.
right.
So yeah, if we can finalize it, that would be great.
Right. I think that for the budget, we might also need to spend a little bit more time, or it's okay now, budget discussion.
Actually, let me take a quick look.
Mhm.
I don't believe we need to spend much time on it, but I think it would be nice to finalize the 2025 events as well.
You're
Since
right.
we
Yeah,
have already submitted a budget request to the board, and it's closely tied with the events plan as well.
I see. I see. Okay. Um, okay, we can wait. I'm just thinking of what are the potential agendas for today. Yeah. Okay, I will mute. We can start at 8:05. Let me mute here. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, how about let's get started. Let me see who we have. We have Emily. We have uh Irina, Sunny, and me. Okay. Yeah. So if we do the agenda batch, we could have priority going through it once more. The 2025 priority outreach priority list. I think many people has a few questions. According to last week's meeting. So by the way, thanks everyone. Tracy, Emily, Sunny, and everyone who joined now. I personally feel it was a great event. Actually, a lot of many places and many companies are talking about SONiC. I think thanks a lot for tremendous work from you, yeah, to make it happen smoothly. Yeah. So OCP event, and I think that there are some like questions about hackathon. We can have a very short discussing there. Budget we can touch budget, but it won't be a long discussing. Think that's what I have in mind. How about everyone else? Any agenda we should put it on the table? Can you hear me?
Yep,
Can
I don't have
anyone
anything
hear
else
me?
to add.
Okay.
Yeah, same for me as well.
Okay. How about we get started? Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you mind to show that what we have for the priority
Yep. Oh,
outreach?
sorry,
Yeah.
Tracy's
Yeah.
sharing the screen. Yep.
Here, I will.
Oh,
stop.
okay, Tracy. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I'll stop share. Do you have it, Sunny? Or you want me to pull it up?
I do have it. Yeah, so give me 1 second. Okay. All right, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, this is what we have drafted so far. I can quickly go through it while you guys can, while everyone's reading the goals. So we have categorized into 3 major categories for 2025 outreach/marketing goals. And the top one is to showcase SONiC success in real world user stories. And this is something that we want to continuously focus on in 2025 based on the board priority as well. And that includes publishing case studies, shorter blog version to promote those, and also identify a major case study to feature on a prominent stage at one of the events that we have for 2025. And I think this is also similar to, as you all might remember that back in April earlier this year at One Summit Stage, Walmart talked about their case study, and that really picked up a lot of the press interest. And I think we want a similar user to step up and talk about their case study as well. Yeah, and the second is the increased community and developer engagement, and that includes organize webinars for developers and decision makers around the world to talk about how they use SONiC and the feature updates and more topics that we can decide in 2025. And also I know we've been really events heavy in the past year, and although the events have yield really good ROI, and as we've seen, you were on site as well, that at the OCP past week, we have seen a lot of great interest in person at events. But as we grow, I think will be very important for us to diversify our marketing efforts, which is why we want to kick off the webinars. We want to build a targeted email list for us to really effectively to communicate with our audience globally as well. And that also includes a quarterly newsletter that we can distribute to our email subscribers who are interested in hearing more about SONiC, and really build the SONiC ecosystem globally outside of events. And the third one is driving global adoption and amplification. One of the objectives here, I think, is carried over from 2024 as well, is to set up a SONiC training program for our end users and developers. And then I believe the following ones are more events heavy, still around engaging with local communities from different regions, including Japan, Vietnam, India, China, to really promote SONiC and engage with the local communities. And also we'll continue to talk with press analysts to for them to understand SONiC value, to really especially understand the open networking and NOS market share as well. And last but not least, it's also something that we want to continuously focus on is to engage with academia through internship programs and for them to talk about how they are using SONiC in their testing labs or in any academic scenarios. So Xin, I don't know if I've summarized well there, but feel free to chime in and add more if you want.
I think we lost her at one point, Sunny.
Oh,
but I think this is pretty comprehensive.
I know she's driving today, so
yeah, she's in the
yeah, the internet might be quite unstable.
So one question I had about this, Sunny, is we spend so much of our budget on events, and there's a tremendous amount of work that goes into that. Do we feel like all of that work is sufficiently captured here, just so that everyone who's contributing to that, we don't like forget about it with all of this? And maybe we do feel like it is because we've got it mentioned in a couple of different spots here, but I just that was the only thing that kind of stood out to me is, does it require its own, I don't know, little showcase? Maybe
I see. You mean to have like a separate objective focusing on events just because we are quite events heavy? Is that what you mean?
I just mean like, if doesn't necessarily need to be like a fourth pillar, but maybe like under bucket number 2, like, do we want to call out, because there's so much work that goes into the events, which are really to, grow the community and engage with developers. Do we want maybe a letter D under there that just is sort of a placeholder for all of the work that the outreach team does to make things like OCP come to life?
I think that's that's a very valid point and it's a really good idea as well. And I know we have captured a little bit of the events here, but I think this is more focusing on the regional meetups. And of course we have major events like you said, OCP, One Summit next year, OSSEU, and so on. So
yeah, that was the only thing that jumped out at me. But I mean, it's totally up to the outreach committee. I don't know. I know we lost Shin. We only have Irina. So Irina, what do you think? Maybe we lost Irina too. Maybe this is an LF meeting at this point.
Excuse me, you were asking me?
Oh yeah, I was just asking, like, do you have any thoughts or feedback on the priorities? I was saying I feel like the outreach committee does so much work to get ready for all of the events, like, OCP and One Summit and everything, that maybe we should add like another bullet under section 2 that specifically just speaks to that work. But I know we lost Shin, and we're totally putting you on the spot because you're the only outreach committee member we have on at the moment. So no pressure, Irina.
No, I think it's a good idea because we can make a lot of activities around events and during events, and everybody waiting for the live meetings because the community is worldwide community, so it's a chance to meet in person and discuss some trends, some hot topics. So I know that our partners, my colleagues, they are excited about such kind of events like OCP Global and waiting for them to finalize something to communicate with someone. And I think it's a good idea to put it like a separate bullet to add more activities or more actions, accents on this, so I think it's a good idea.
Awesome. I will have the comment here, and then what I can do, I can draft up another bullet or to mainly highlight the major events that we're hosting in 2025, and maybe a potential objective around that. And then I'm happy to share in the Outeach Committee. I believe I might have shared before OCP, but folks are very busy prepping OCP. So, and then we can gather more feedback asynchronously with the other community members as well.
And like additional idea, excuse me for interrupting, like additional idea for this, we were talking about enterprise engagement in the community and share more success stories regarding SONiC implementation and deployment. And maybe around events, we can do some activities for enterprise engagement from the different spheres, not just from the community members' perspective or side, but separately as well to make this community more enterprise-wide. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think it could bring more interest for the events and community activities as well.
Awesome. Love it. And I believe on site at OCP last week have heard similar suggestion for 2025 events on enterprise focus and user enablement as well. So yeah, and I agree that I think it should be one of the objectives next year, and we'll add that to the objectives for 2025. Any other feedback from anyone? All right. If not, I think we can move forward with the next agenda item. And then, like I said, that I will share this with the Outreach Committee, and maybe we can give another week or so for everyone to take a look at the details and really finalize the 2025 objectives. Tracy, would you like to take over? Oh, perfect. Or one step ahead of me. Thank you. All right. Also, I just received the text from Shin that looks like she's hitting a pretty heavy traffic right now, so I'm not so sure if she can join anytime soon. But we'll try to move forward, and hopefully she can join mid-meeting or something. All right. I'm not so sure if we talk much. I know Shin briefly mentioned about how OCP Global Summit went last week, and that was on site for hosting the booth and co-create event as well. And Irina, were you at OCP Global Summit last week as well?
Unfortunately, no. My colleagues, our CTO, Director of Open Networking Solutions and Delivery Director, were participating in OCP Global last week. So we are waiting for them and their feedback after that. But I know they had a lot of conversation around SONiC implementation, possible projects. So I think they are happy.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad. I believe it's Taras.
Yeah, Taras, Leonid, and Tatiana.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. I think I saw him on site, and yeah, a month earlier he was at Open Source Summit EU as well. So great to see, how active the community members are, and especially from our members as well. So, and I guess a bit of not really feedback, but comments from me. I think for the past week, it was probably one of the most successful events we've hosted, and huge thanks to Emily and Tracy for you all help and support, and we really can't do it without you guys. And of course, with the community members' participation as well. I believe I still need to really think through just there's a lot of things have happened on site. But overall, for the co-located event, although on Tuesday, we only had one afternoon, and I know we had one more on Friday. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend. But for the Tuesday workshop, we had over, I believe, 300 to 350 people attended on site, although the room capacity, I think, is 280 something. Correct me if I'm wrong, Emily.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I think I remember we had an email of negotiating with OCP staff. Hey, we had a really good event turnout last year, so let's bump it up for 100 more. And yeah, clearly we need an even bigger room than that, because there were so many people standing in the back that we actually have to turn people away because the room is getting too full. So good problem to have for us.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And I think, Emily, I've also looped in an email of potentially a full day event for 2025 at OCP that sort of just combines the two half-day events that we had. And I think that hopefully that makes the communication more clear, and also keep the attendees in the room a bit longer, and and hopefully we can have more attendees as well.
I think that'll be better for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So other than the co-locate event, which turned out great, much better than we expected, for the booth demos, for the attendees we met on site, I've received numerous really good positive feedback. I know, Emily, before the event, we kind of chatted that we have a ton of demos back to back, and fingers crossed everything goes well, and everything went really well. And that definitely kept our booth very busy. Actually, I wish I can share some pictures here, but I can send it in the Outeach Committee mailing list later today. That I think there was one time I saw almost 20 people at the booth, given how small the booth is. It was quite funny to watch.
Yeah, small space
Right.
for 20 people, but glad
Right.
to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the swags, we almost scoured up all the swags, and they were really popular as well. And I'm trying to think if there is anything else. Arpit was on site as well, and me, Arpit, and Li Hua, TSC chair, we have hosted 2 analyst meetings, one with IDC, another with Del Oro. I know there has been a demand also. I think the board requested it as well, to really dig more into the SONiC market data. We had one with Del Oro, I believe, a couple of years ago, but that might be a bit outdated now. So we definitely see a pickup of interest from press and analysts on the SONiC growth, which is really great. And this is something we really want to do more as well for 2025, to really engage with the press analyst and issue more press release on SONiC news, and hopefully new membership as well. And speaking of membership on site, Arpit has met with, I believe, 5 member prospects who are interested in joining SONiC, and I met with 2. And of course, we're so busy on site, so we couldn't schedule more meetings with our potential members. And I'm hoping in the next week or so, even in the upcoming month, based on the leads we have collected at OCP Global Summit, we can bring more members in and bring more contributors to the SONiC community. And I think that's all the major highlights I've had. So like Xin said earlier, we've heard so many people talk about SONiC on site, not only from our community members, from our members as well, and potential new members. So I think, including the board members who are on site, we're pretty happy with how the event turned out. So it was very busy, hectic, but very awesome event in the past week. Sweet. Other than the priorities and the OCP Global Summit, I know she also mentioned the hackathon. I am a bit remote on the planning on that part. Emily, do you by any chance have any update on the hackathon?
Just that there aren't any new submissions that have come in. So the new date closes this Thursday. I suspect that folks were just really busy with things last week. So if we see anything, it'll come up in the next couple of days.
Okay, awesome. And I think you're right, because on site, I did hear quite a few committee members about the updated timeline for the hackathon and how they're interested in the intent after OCP Global Summit.
Oh, great.
So
Okay.
yeah, fingers crossed we can get more
Okay.
submissions, and I'll promote it on social media as well. Right. I think we've went through the priorities, and we can briefly talk about the events and budget. I think this section we sort of need Shint to be here, but I can help to cover with at least a high level 2025 events plan that we had. So one of the first one is we would love to still proceed with a co-locate event at One Summit. I think this is also consistent with the board vision as well. Especially we've had pretty good outcome from One Summit last year. And that might be a question for you, Emily. Do you by any chance know when and where the One Summit will be in 2025?
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, it's not 100%, but we should know in the next couple of days that it'll be in London. And it's going to be a bit different of a format. So that is some of some of those are the pieces that we're trying to finalize, but it's likely going to be March 30th and April 1st.
Awesome. Okay. Sweet. And I believe that's also during the time when KubeCon EU is happening.
Yes, correct.
Is it
same week?
Same week. Okay. In the same location as well?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So will they be co-located then?
Kind of. Those are some of the little details we're trying to sort out, because what we're trying to do is still keep it separate from KubeCon, because once we tie it to KubeCon, there are a lot of very strict rules that we need to follow, and it won't really be helpful for One Summit. It won't just won't kind of work for what One Summit needs. So we're trying to do some of it as a completely separate event, and then maybe do some focus topics as part of KubeCon.
Gotcha.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. And other than One Summit potentially in the first half of 2025, I have met with the SONiC Workshop Japan organizers on site as well, and given the popular demand of SONiC globally, and also we have a board objective of really focusing in a lot of the APAC region, including Japan as well. They are very interested in hosting SONiC Workshop Japan again. And I have briefly chatted with them on the timeline. They still need to finalize on the event date. So I think this event is most likely will be happening, but for the timing and location, it's still a TBD right now. And then SONiC China Forum, that's most likely will be happening again. And we don't really know the timing and location, I believe. But we'll keep a close eye and work with, I believe Alibaba is the main organizer for this, and keep you all updated. And SONiC Workshop India, that's definitely happening. And I know the SONiC Workshop India this year, the registration was sold out. The event was very popular, so we potentially might increase the number of days for this event. Emily, was the SONiC Workshop India, do you by any chance remember if it was just one day this year?
It was just one day. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And I know Ashay mentioned that he potentially want to make it for 2 days.
Yeah.
And I think the budget request was already included from the last board meeting in terms of the cost estimation if we increase it to 2 days. So definitely it's stay tuned, and we'll sync with Ashay and confirm that if we're moving to add one more day to the SONiC Workshop at India next year. In September, we'll do the same to have a co-located event at Open Source EU later this year. And of course, in October, we are hosting co-located event at OCP Global Summit and potentially extending the half-day workshop to a full-day workshop as well. Okay, and that's everything I know of what we planned. Irina, do you have any feedback or questions? And also sorry for picking on you again, but
No. I'm just curious about KubeCon and collocated event with the SONiC community. Can you tell me more about it? Because we haven't participated in it, and maybe you can provide more information and regarding format or participation in general. I would appreciate it.
I can give a quick update here. I mean, part of it, so are you familiar with KubeCon?
Yeah, I have heard
Okay.
a lot, and sometimes my previous companies took part in it, but it was a different, direction. So
Sure. So I think what the thought is it's really to help combine budgets for people that are trying to attend both. There is some crossover in attendees. So one, there's been some interest in having one summit in Europe, and then two, with the crossover of some attendees, it reduces them to have to travel to two events, request travel approval and budget approval for two separate events. So that's the intent of co-locating. But we also know it's important to keep one summit separate from KubeCon in that folks are not required to register for KubeCon in order to register for one summit. And that's one of the parameters that would be in there if we were a true co-located event. So that's why we're trying to keep it as separate as possible, just so folks that want to attend both can do both, but they're also not required to attend both. That's the main, those are the pieces we're working through right now.
is there auditory or the audience for the collocated SONiC event big or not such a big event like OCP Global? Could you please give more insights regarding that?
So KubeCon is, I'm trying to think what the European numbers are. It's 10,000 plus. I don't know the exact number. So KubeCon will be about 10,000 people, but I don't think that will significantly change the SONiC co-located event numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in the, I think 75 to 100 is what we had last year.
Yeah, I believe so.
We have participated in one summit this year, but it wasn't in London, I guess. We discussed.
Yeah, it was in California.
Yeah. So next year it would be in London.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. I think if we don't have any further feedback or comments or questions, that should be everything we have for today. I don't see Shin on the call, so yeah, if there is no other topics that you all would like to discuss, I think we can get off early.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.